Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. Guys, we're taking a look today at the Vegas Golden Knights. And again, they get on a deep playoff run. Their third Final Four appearance in the past 4 years. But where are the Golden Knights going into this offseason? We've heard a couple rumors already. The Vegas Golden Knights may be big game hunting this summer. We'll take a look at some of the names that may be tied to the Vegas Golden Knights in this video. So, there's two guys in particular. Now, you could look across the league. There's a lot of guys that are potentially up for grabs throughout the NHL. You look at the Calgary Flames. You've got guys like Sean Monahan, Johnny Gaudreau that could potentially be available. You look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got a guy potentially like Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley in Philly. Do they consider moving one of the big guys, whether that's James Van Riemsdyk, Nolan Patrick, Claude Giroux? Who is on their way out? But we've started to hear two guys in particular that have been tied to the Vegas Golden Knights to add some more scoring punch to their lineup. Now, we saw in their second round series against the Avalanche that they had that scoring punch. They were able to get it done, and they were able to finish off a really good, deep Colorado Avalanche team that was expected to be a Stanley Cup favorite this year. But the Golden Knights maybe want more. Now, the rumor is they're looking for a number one center. Now, only one of the guys on this list of two guys is that center. The other guy just adds some scoring depth, and we'll look at that here. So, the first guy we're looking at is the Columbus Blue Jackets' Patrik Laine. Now, he's 23 years old, and he's coming off a contract where he's making $7.5 million per season. The big question for whoever gets Patrik Laine, whether that's the Blue Jackets or anybody else in the league, is do you want to potentially have to pay him at least $8 million in his next deal? Because, let's be honest, Patrik Laine used that as a bridge deal with the Winnipeg Jets at the time, and now the Columbus Blue Jackets. That was a bridge deal. And now that he's getting older, and now that let's say you give him an 8 or a 7-year deal, if you're another team, you give him a 7-year deal, those are years of unrestricted free agency for Patrik Laine. He's going to cost that much more. Now the question is, why would you pay that free agency price if you don't even know if Laine is even going to be in the NHL in the next 5 to 7 years? If we're going to be honest, he really struggled with the Blue Jackets this season. His turnovers, his abilities, back checking, a couple of things with Laine that John Tortorella was very nervous about, and there's genuine concern from other teams around the league. Is this guy going to be reliable, between the blue lines? He could score goals from the top of that circle all you want, but you still got to get someone has to give him the puck, and you have to have possession of the puck. And Laine can't do those other things. He can score, probably the best shot in the NHL, or one of at the very least, his quick release. But the problem is that only gets you so far if you can't have possession of the puck. So, and that's something that we saw. John Tortorella was quite frustrated with Laine at points this season. Now, the other big name you have to look at is the Buffalo Sabres' Jack Eichel. Now, I think this is crazy, but listen, crazy things happen in the NHL. I would have never expected Alex Pietrangelo to go to Vegas last year. Yeah, Jack Eichel to go to the Golden Knights. Now, the thing here with Eichel, he's a lot different of a situation than Patrik Laine. He's 24 years old, making $10 million per season until 2026. So, he's locked into your roster. You don't have to worry about that. But the question is, with this injury situation, with this herniated disc in his neck, is that going to be a problem for Eichel when he comes back from the surgery? Because there's a couple different factors you have to look at. One, does Jack Eichel want to go to the Sabres? He doesn't really have that leverage, but that is something you have to consider. The second thing, injury, right? Are the Sabres, are the Golden Knights going to okay Jack Eichel to get the surgery that he wants? We've talked about this in other videos in the past if you want a little bit of a deeper dive into that topic. But basically, he's going to take a more a safer, not safer approach, because there's the one surgery he could get, which is the neck injury that most guys usually that's the surgery they use. It's safer, but you're never going to be 100% in your neck. But Eichel wants the surgery that could get him back to 100% full recovery, but it could also have a really bad side effect, which is why the Sabres don't want Jack Eichel to get that surgery. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, Jack Eichel shouldn't get traded," this and that. I think the Sabres management has made the decision already that Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, potentially Rasmus Ristolainen will all be gone by the entry draft. And Jack Eichel is a guy that can immediately be that number one center in Vegas. He's going to be the guy. But again, with this injury thing now, going into this season, you're not going to likely see Jack Eichel. Now the question is, does he come in, toward the playoffs next, in the summer of 2022? And then it doesn't maybe matter so much. But that is something that you have to consider. The surgery side of things, it has nothing to do with hockey, but it has everything to do with this trade, specifically for the Buffalo Sabres. So, if that's the case, then what's the price for a guy like Jack Eichel? Is it Alex Tuch? Do you trade William Karlsson? That seems a little bit concerning. I would assume it could be a guy like Alex Tuch, who they just don't have cap space for. And then you're looking at depth guys. You're looking at maybe a Peyton Krebs. It might even be a Cody Glass. I mean, it sucks, but that's the situation that the Golden Knights are in. They're in a win-now situation, and it may cost them other assets. And that's really it. I mean, these are the two guys I've been hearing a lot about tied to Vegas. But like I mentioned plenty of other guys around the league that may be available this summer. And you even wonder, what's the status with the Florida boys? Because you've got Barkov and you've got Huberdeau, who have contracts ending in the next 2 years. Do the Florida Panthers have the money to pay those guys, or are they going to potentially move on from them? Now, I think with the success the Panthers had this past season, that it does seem a little bit crazy. But let's be honest, a year ago, would you have been expecting a guy like Jack Eichel to be out of Buffalo? So maybe it does happen, right? A lot can change in a year. But I do wonder what the situation is with a guy like Alexander Barkov, because he would fit really well into this Vegas Golden Knights roster. And he'd look pretty good in the gold sweater as well. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you want to see the Vegas Golden Knights do this summer? Do you want to see them get a high potent offensive punch and a guy like Patrik Laine? Or do you want to take a guy like Jack Eichel, who could be pretty much your number one center, and maybe he gets you over the hump and gets you to win that Stanley Cup in Vegas? So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.